Hey, what's up everyone, and in today's video we're diving into the depth of the Amazon jungle with Green Hell, a survival game where you must manage your health, hunger, thirst and fatigue to survive in the harsh environment. From crafting shelters to hunting for food, every decision counts as you try to stay alive. This game will test your limits and push you to your breaking point. If you enjoy survival games and want to experience the ultimate test of survival, then this game is for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying content and want to see more. Anyway, my name is Seb and welcome to Jump Inside Unleashed. Let's get started. Anyway, we like to break our video down into 6 different parts. This allows us to provide a comprehensive overview of the game, of what the player can expect when jumping into it. By dividing the video down into 6 different segments, we can focus on different aspects of the game and provide a well-rounded understanding of what the player will experience. Whether it's the graphics, gameplay or story, we strive to cover it all in our video breakdown. Anyway, we're starting off with survival, and in Green Hell the player is stranded in the Amazon jungle and must use their survival skills to stay alive. I very much enjoyed trying to explore and trying to do all the survival stuff in Green Hell. I had to go to certain areas and to avoid certain things, walk over certain obstacles and try not to go into certain areas. There were certain animals in this game that I had to keep an eye on and avoid, such as I had to avoid tigers and I also had to avoid scorpions, because if I went into any of those places and I got poisoned, it would affect my health. It would possibly even cause me to die. So I had to be very careful on what I was able to do in this game and where to move and where to walk around. I had to rest over the night because the night would provide me more energy so I could experience more of the daytime. If I was to fall and collapse in the middle of the day, there was a good chance that that would affect my sanity level of my character. So I had to keep an eye on my energy levels and my health levels to make sure that I was also not just staying alive, but to also make sure that I didn't collapse in the middle of nowhere and get poisoned. There was so much poisonous stuff in this game that it is quite a hard game to manage and to stay alive for the whole of it. There's quite a lot in this game to keep an eye on your health and to also keep an eye on all the poisonous stuff. So yes, that is the survival aspect, and tell me what you think. Anyway, moving on now to the next part. And the next part is crafting. In Green Hell, the player must gather resources to gather and to craft items that will help them survive. It's not easy to find certain items in this game, such as, for example, I wanted an axe to be able to chop down trees, and I wanted to build a stone rock around my campfire to make sure my campfire was well protected and I could cut multiple items when I was hungry, as my character needed to survive. Crafting these items though was quite difficult because a lot of these items required certain items such as rocks, so I had to search for rocks, and rocks only spawn at certain areas in the game. For example, you won't always see a rock here, there and everywhere, even though it's a material that you need a lot. You would have to follow up and down streams to find rocks because the rocks mostly spawn around rivers. So you have to go around rivers and to find rocks that way. They won't just be randomly out there in the wilderness. Well, they might be, but you won't see them as often as you would if you were just walking up and downstream. And even then, it's still quite hard. Apart from that, you would be given a book that would be able to show you pictures of what the type of thing that you would need to craft an item with. I had this picture in a book that had a rope, some rocks and a stick, and if you put them together in a certain order, you gain this very interesting axe that you can use to chop things down or maybe to hunt for things. So yes, it's a very interesting way of doing things, and I absolutely love the crafting and the resource collecting in this game. It's very good. Moving on. Next is the map of this area, and in Green Hell the player is stranded in the heart of the Amazon jungle.
Ooh, it's a map, or at least what's left of it,
which is vast and it has a diverse environment. The player must navigate through dense places such as forests, swamps and rivers to find things and to find resources. You're going to be exploring this lovely open world jungle. I went into the jungle at one point in the game just to see how far this game was and how big it actually was. And I was going down tracks for ages and ages and ages, and I think I completely lost myself. And if I went too far, I probably wouldn't have been able to get back due to it cost me quite a lot of energy and health to get to the place where I wanted to go. So I went and see how far this jungle actually took me, and I went absolutely amazingly quite far, further than I thought I'd be able to get to in this game. And it's a massive map. And honestly, there's so many trees and jungles and wood out there that if you lost track of the route that you were traveling on, you would very easily get lost. There were times in this game where I'd probably just circle around myself because I was like, where did that camp go? There's trees everywhere. And that was mostly the majority of the game whenever I got lost or anything. So I had to keep an eye out for certain things. Like, for example, the fireplace that you build has smoke that's coming out of it. So if it's in the middle of the night, you're more likely to find your campsite via just looking for the smoky area sometimes. But even then, it's still quite difficult. So my plan was not to travel too far away from the campsite because I knew I'd get lost, or at least follow the river so I'll be able to track it back if I ever did get lost as I was exploring. And of course, that is the map of this area. This map is massive, and you will be having fun with the amount of different types of map areas that you can get into. But trust me, they all have trees in it. Anyway, moving on. Next is the Sanity System, and I didn't have a lot of experience with this, but the player's mental health is affected by the conditions of the jungle. So unfortunately, if you get a cut or a wound, it's going to affect your sanity. If you've got a worm on your character, it's also going to affect your sanity. Different things are going to affect your sanity levels in the jungle, and when you do get a certain level of low sanity, you may start to hear noises in the jungle. I didn't actually experience this inside this particular playthrough, but I've played different playthroughs and I have experienced this. So make sure that your sanity levels stay high, and to do that, make sure that your body's clean, make sure you're healthy as a character, because as soon as you go down too far or you start suffering from things, your sanity is going to drop. So be careful with your sanity. Next is the visions, and in Green Hell, the player can experience visions that can reveal information and environment areas around the story and around the world. The vision can be triggered by interacting with certain objects in this game. At this specific point in this particular game, I was able to make a potion that I could drink, and in the drink I would have hallucinations and see certain memories. The player can use these visions to understand the map area as well as understanding more of the story. It's a really clever way of doing things, and you'll love the visions as they play out. I only got to experience this one in this playthrough, so it was really good and I really enjoyed how they did it. It was a nice little pause from having to surviving in the jungle and to just focus on information of the story of this game, and it was really good. I loved how they did it. Anyway, moving on to the next part. And the next part is injuries. In Green Hell, the player can become injured from various sources such as falls, animal attacks, and hunger. I was poisoned in this game, which really affected my health, and I kind of died in one of my first playthroughs of this game, because this game isn't forgiving whatsoever. And also I got attacked a few times from a jaguar, which wasn't very nice. When the jaguar attacked, it caused my player to bleed, and eventually it killed me. So I had to think about certain things in this game, and as soon as I was injured too much, I would then die, and that would be the end. This game isn't forgiving, and the best way to make sure that you are going to stay alive for the majority of this game is to make sure that you have bandages on you, so when you need them, you can apply them, and to make sure that you've got food on you that you can heal up if you need healing. If you get poisoned, it's going to be a nightmare, so just make sure that you avoid it at all costs whenever possible. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this game on Green Hell, be sure to check out this game for yourself on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. All the links are in the description, and it comes to around £25 or $30. Also, don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts on the game and let us know what other content you'd like to see. Your support means the world to us, and we appreciate all our viewers. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the jungle. Goodbye.